What's going on, buddy? Celiac here, and we're going to talk about this little this report from Clearwater Beach, or Clearwater Police Department. And the first person we're going to talk about is Lieutenant Meg Hasty. She's the one I called McNasty.
McNasty? Yeah.
So just stay tuned all the way to the end because this is going to get good. So, and all the links to all this stuff will be in the links below. So if you need to go and you want to read it for yourself, by all means, links will be in the description. That's all I can do for you. Now, moving forward. This is synopsis of the events. On June 14, 2021, I made contact with Michael Taylor on the sand at Clearwater Beach as he was walking on the waterline with an AR-style firearm slung across his chest.
Whoa.
Taylor was ultimately released from the scene with his firearms and his belongings. Investigative actions taken. I was traveling northbound on Coronado Boulevard, approaching South Gulfview Avenue, while I heard the beach safety supervisor on our radio channel.
I just want to advise you there is a male subject shoreline walking towards Tower 3. Appears to be armed, refusing to exit the beach at this time. He's trying to use his Second Amendment right.
Roger.
He advised there was a male walking the shoreline with an AR-type firearm strapped to his chest and carrying a flag. The flag was described as an American flag combined with a "Don't Tread on Me" flag. The last position given of the male was on the sand by the water near Tower 3. He was reported to be walking north. I parked my cruiser in Pier 60, where I was going fishing, parking lot, and entered the sand by Tower 0, which is located between lifeguard towers 3 and 4. As I crossed the beach walk to the sand, I saw a group of children in yellow shirts running towards the half wall. We're going to come back to that because we'll talk about who instigated that. There were others leaving the sand as I made my way to the waterline. Fearing for the safety of those on the beach, I began to run across the sand towards the waterline and could see the described flag, but could not see the subject. The beach was very busy and there were adults and children all around. I advised dispatch via radio that I could see the subject and continued to run towards him.
Whoa. Hey, why you got your hands on me?
I passed numerous cabanas on the way that had been obstructing my view. As I got closer to the male walking with the flag in his left hand, and what looked like an AR-type firearm strapped across his chest, his right hand was free of any objects. I ran to him and immediately grabbed his right arm, telling him to stop.
Whoa. Hey.
The male, later identified as Michael Taylor, did not physically resist my efforts by pulling his arm away, but did turn to my face, asking my name. Instead of waiting for a response, he made a variation of my name, referring to me as McNasty.
McNasty? Yeah, well...
He asked me again why I was stopping him. I responded by telling him he was walking on the beach with a rifle. He told me he was going fishing, and I responded by telling him he was not fishing at the moment. He pointed out that he was carrying a fishing pole.
Hey, why you got your hands on me?
Because you're walking with a firearm.
I know. I'm going fishing. Look, I got a fishing pole.
You're not fishing right now.
I know. I'm going to that fishing pier right there.
Okay.
It was not until this moment that I saw Taylor was carrying a fishing pole with a lure and on the line in the same hand as his flag. I asked detective to take the flag from Taylor's hand, which he did.
Name, badge number?
Center 9808.
Yours?
Detective Cap 6440.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Let that go, please. Thank you.
He stayed in this position for a short time until Officer Moore arrived and took hold of Taylor's right arm from me.
What's the problem with you guys defending your oath to the Constitution of Florida, and the United States? What's the problem?
Detective Kappa was attempting to have Taylor moved from the shoreline towards the beach wall, and he refused.
You want to go up to the, we need to
No,
talk up there. Come on.
we're not. I'm not breaking the law.
Who wouldn't want to refuse to an unlawful order? I was lawfully allowed to do it, you just didn't like what I was doing. But anyway, I digress. Officer Moore asked if he should handcuff Taylor, and I told him yes. Hey, let's just violate my rights. All right, good job. I advised that Taylor should be handcuffed and brought to the nearest patrol vehicle, which was on the sand right behind the cabanas. Taylor was advised that he was being detained for the time being. For what crime? Detained for what crime?
901-151. What law did I break? What
Let's
law
go
did
there.
no? What law did I break? What law did I break?
Okay. Prior to moving Taylor from where we were, the backpack he was carrying was removed from his back by unlatching the straps of his firearms, and his firearms was also removed from him by undoing the strap from his bracket. Taylor was yelled loud and yelling the entire time we were dealing with him. He asked if he was being arrested and asked what law he had broke.
Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing? Am I lawfully allowed?
When we have
I don't
people
care. Am
calling
I
you,
lawfully allowed to
you're
do?
not listening.
I don't have to listen. Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing?
You also
Yes
have
or
the right
no?
to remain silent. I just want you to be quiet.
Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing? Am I
Just give us a few
lawfully? Am I law?
Listen to us. Just give us a few moments.
I don't need to listen. Am I lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing?
Let me ask you.
All right. What law? What law did I break?
We're gonna get to the bottom of all that.
What
okay?
what law did I break? No. Do you have body cams?
I do. Sure.
Okay. Is it running?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What law did I break? What law did I break? Am I allowed to go fishing while hunting, fishing, or camping? Yes or no, sir? Yes or no?
You seem to know it pretty well.
I know it.
Okay.
Yes. I think it was about 41 times I asked what law, 901, 151, all of it's wrapped in. It was about 41 times. And nobody could answer the question. None of y'all could answer any of that. But once again, the person that you say is being loud is also asserting his rights. You just don't like it. Not my problem. He was told repeatedly he was just being detained. He yelled the entire time. He would walk back to the cruiser. People stopped and stared as we went by. He was placed in the back of the police cruiser. Taylor asked to contact his attorney, and due to the fact that he was not under arrest, he was allowed to keep his cell phone while seated in the back of a police cruiser. Well, just to let y'all know, while you detained me in the back of your police cruiser, I got a little secret for you. This is the secret.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
You see that? You see that? This firearm is no bigger than my hand. And just like that, I was carrying that. I was in the back of their police cruiser with that. Just to let y'all know. Good job. Good job. Good police work.
I'm a dumbass. I'm a dumbass. I'm a dumbass.
I researched the statute.
I learned something today.
Hear that? I researched the statute for open carry while fishing and found that although a reasonable and prudent person
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
would most likely not walk the shoreline in front of hundreds of people with an AR type style firearm, the statute did not preclude Taylor from doing this. So what's the problem? You didn't know the law. You didn't know the law. Miss McNasty, you didn't know the law. That's why you are a tyrant. But I digress. Upon Taylor being released from the rear of the police cruiser, he immediately resumed yelling at the officers on the scene.
You're dumb shit, you're dumb shit, you're dumb shit, and you're dumb shit.
He pointed to each of us individually and said,
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you, I'm out.
he called us names, and when he was warned that he was causing a disturbance, he told us he was able to redress his government in any way he chooses.
I can redress my government. I can redress my government in any way, shape, and form.
It's called the First Amendment. Maybe you should look up some of look up the Constitution that you swore to uphold, McNasty. McNasty, you don't even care about the oath that you took. You just said, all right, I'm going to take a lot of my money and other people's money and not even know the laws that you are there to enforce. But good job. Good job. You're doing a great job so far. Taylor was provided his backpack and now unloaded firearm. He was extremely upset that the webbing for the firearm sling had been taken out of the bracket and he had to put it back together. Well, maybe if you knew anything about firearms and how painstaking it is to get your sling put on to fit you in a proper way, and then you undo it because you don't know how to handle a firearm, Mr. Moore, Mr. Officer Moore, you're a moron because there's a QD mount, and we're gonna go through that too. But anyway.
Don't worry about if I serve. You guys, why don't you just use the QD mount, dude? Just use the QD mount, because I gotta... Fuck you.
This had done to prevent any damage to his property. You unslung my firearm not damage my firearm. That doesn't even make any sense. Taylor advised us that he was going to load his firearm and told us not to shoot him. Absolutely. Officers did not have their firearms out, and the only potential threat to anyone at any point was Taylor himself. No. My firearm was in a very, very good position before I met you. My gun hadn't hurt nobody, my gun wasn't pointed at nobody, but then you had to take it and make me have to do things that made it unsafe in your eyes, but you caused it. I didn't cause it. You took my property. I didn't do this. I didn't say, all right, here, let me throw it over here and do all this. Let me unload it and do this and that. No, that was you. So you made it unsafe for those people because you didn't know the law. But once again, I digress. Taylor loaded his firearm while standing at the hood of the cruiser and continued to yell and swear at us. He stuck his middle finger up at me and the other officers. They're yelling profanities at us and telling us how worthless he thought we were. He told us we could leave so he could go on his way. He was reminded that he was free to go and would not leave the area until we would not leave the area until we vacated. See Officer Moore's supplemental for further Taylor's disruptions and I don't even know what that word is. Raucous behavior. I'm not really sure. I'll put that up there. I spoke with the beach safety supervisor, Patrick Bradford. He stated that he had notified Taylor walking with his firearms on the shoreline with lifeguard Jonah Strake. Strake was assigned to Tower 2, which was south of where I made contact with Taylor. There is no point between when Strake first saw Taylor and where I made contact with him that he would have been able to fish at. Bradford attempted to contact Taylor and to ask him to leave the beach.
What's up? How y'all doing? What up, dude? Yeah, I'm good, dude. I don't want to talk to you.
Why do I have to leave the beach? I have every right to be on that beach as long as I'm going to go fishing. So you deal with it. That's not my problem. So Taylor pushed his hand at Bradford and refused to comply. This made Bradford extremely concerned, and he had notified police via the radio channel. Bradford then gathered the group of junior. Bradford is the one that scared all these kids. Bradford went over there, was like, oh my gosh, there's a guy coming with a gun. So Bradford's the one that did this. Gathered the junior lifeguards that he was leading and cleared them from the beach. Bradford stated that Taylor's reaction to his attempt to speak to him made him question the intent of Taylor. Just to let you know, every time I run into a park ranger, lifeguard, whatever, they're not helping. They don't know the law. They don't understand why I'm there, and they don't understand I can do what I'm doing.
What's up, bud?
Good morning.
How you doing?
You gotta go away.
What does?
You gotta leave that gun right there
Why?
because you can't carry open.
I can open. Yeah.
Florida statute for you, sir.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, man. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I'm just letting you know it's completely legal for me to do this.
First of all, I'm not a police officer. I'm a park ranger. That's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
Do you have a license for that? Or?
You don't need a license. That's why we were trying to give you this.
Concealed weapons license? Yep. You do?
I don't.
Okay, specifically for. Okay.
I don't.
That's an issue. I think it's gonna be an issue.
It's it's not gonna be an issue.
Don't move for the gun. Don't.
They are the ones that instigate all this. I didn't instigate anything. If you watch the whole video, I'm nice to everybody, saying hi to everybody, walking down the beach, and that's it. I can't be any nicer than that. I wasn't yelling, screaming until the police decided to violate my rights. But we're gonna keep moving. He felt the children needed to be evacuated from the beach for their safety until law enforcement arrived. I spoke to Strake after speaking with Bradford. He was not present when I spoke to Bradford. Strake stated that he had been approached by a female who was very concerned with Taylor's open display of his weapon and where he was walking. Strake notified Bradford via the radio. Strake told me he was very uneasy with Taylor walking along the beach and feared for his safety as well as those on the beach. He did not leave the beach and chose to stay on the lifeguard stand and provide updates of Taylor's location. Officer Moore, Drummond, Busa, and I met with the junior lifeguards who were still at the lifeguard station. Many of them had been inside the station and only heard of what happened. Others stated they saw a man with a gun and were very scared. Bradford had told them all to quickly move off the beach toward the lifeguard station for safety. See Officer Busa report for all their names, which I'm not going to do. After Taylor left us, I watched as he marched down the waterline towards the pier. He walked past the fishing kiosk and fished approximately 5 minutes. Now, getting to that, I had paid for 2 hours of parking, and it was supposed to take me a half hour to walk there, half hour to walk back, and I was going to fish for an hour. I was detained for about over an hour, roughly over an hour. So all the time that I did have was lost because of you, because you didn't know the law, and I had to call people and I had to get you to understand what the law was. But once again, this is McNasty not understanding the law and her getting butthurt because I I called her some names. She deserved it. You know, I'm not saying this is my proudest moment, but she deserved everything she got that day. So, you know, not my proudest moment, but I'm just saying. He left the pier to an unknown direction. He was traveling from fishing. Clearwater received about 4 more phone calls about Taylor's behavior. He reported to be walking towards the roundabout at 14:08. Gofundme, another one at 14:09. Got another one at 14:18 and got another one at 14:34. It is clear at this time in which the callers made the report spanning a 22-minute time frame that Taylor was not traveling anywhere and was staying in the same area for visibility. Taylor seems to be exploiting this fishing exception to gain notoriety and attention for his cause. Yeah, whatever. Maybe you shouldn't friggin' stupid fish catch stupid bait. Period. You're dumb fish, you're gonna catch stupid bait. Welcome to the club. Now, this is the part where we talk about the investigation that they were trying to put on me. And just to let the record be known, they were trying to get me for disorderly conduct because somebody didn't like the words that I called them after they violated my civil rights that they swore to uphold. So we're going to get into this. So on June 23rd, the original date was June 14th. So roughly about 9 days later, Lee Curtis, and he's the detective out of this, comes across, I'm guessing this came to their investigation detectives or something to that effect. But on June 23rd at 9:30, I was assigned this case from report review. After reading Lieutenant Meg Hasty's report, it is complete and follow-up is not required. This is a Second Amendment case where Michael Taylor appears to be exploiting the open carry clause that allows for open carry while traversing to and from fishing. I'm not exploiting it. I'm just using the law as it is given to me. How is it? That's like saying I'm using my First Amendment right to exploit the law. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, but anyway, you know, per Florida Statute 790.25 you're allowed to open carry while you're on your way to or returning from a fishing, camping, or hunting expedition. Taylor was observed walking northbound on the shoreline near Tower 3 with an AR-style rifle. Lieutenant Hasty officers made contact with Taylor, and he was briefly detained for 45 minutes, over 45 minutes to an hour. Briefly. I mean, I guess that's normal. I guess. For the purpose of investigating why Taylor was open carrying the firearms.
What are you doing?
Let me ask you something. You're going fishing, right?
Yes, I'm going to that pier.
You need an AR-15 to go fishing.
You don't need to know why I
I'm
need it.
just asking a
You
simple
don't
question.
need to know a reason.
Can you give me a reasonable answer for that?
Yes, I've almost been robbed while I've been fishing.
And you need an AR-15?
I need whatever I need to protect myself.
Okay.
You don't need to know why I'm carrying the firearms. All you need to know is that it is lawful to do what I'm doing. But I have to explain myself to every one of you law enforcement out there saying, hey, I'm just going fishing. I'm just going fishing. And then you meet me and it's just like, hey, you still can't get past it. You just like, you can't do it. Well, we don't like it. Taylor immediately announced his Second Amendment rights and the open carry clause to the Florida law. Taylor was cleared as not a felon and was released. That's all they're doing. They are just running my name through NCIC, FCIC, David, just to see if I have warrants, felon, or anything. I don't know how many felons are going out openly carrying firearms. They might be concealed carrying illegal firearms, but they're not openly carrying illegal firearms. Just saying. Lieutenant Meg Hasty will be referring the charge of disorderly conduct conduct to the state attorney's office for their review. And then that was pretty much in a nutshell. All this was due to a records request, and when they canceled it, I had to wait it was almost like another month and a half until I got the records. And so they put me under investigation for me, exercising my First Amendment right, me exercising my Second Amendment right, me trying to exercise my Fourth Amendment right by not giving up my name or my papers or my effects to prove to them who I was. And the only reason they found out who I was because somebody had called and had mentioned my first and last name.
And the guy you have arrested, his name is Michael Taylor, who's an open carry activist in Florida. So just try to get a hold of that officer and get him out of handcuffs.
And I'm not mad about who called, something, so be it. I mean, they already know who I am. It doesn't matter at this point. I'm trying to eliminate that. So anybody that wants to call, just tell them that there was somebody out open carrying and they've got somebody detained doing it. And that's all you really need to tell them. If they can't figure it out after that point, like I know that you all are out there trying to help me. I do have people that I contact before I do things like this. And those people, if they don't hear from me from X time, they probably know something bad's happened. Then they'll start calling me, and if I don't pick up, then it's on to looking to see where I was at last, and then they do their due diligence, and then they can use my name because they know my name, and they know all the information pertaining to me to find out where I'm at. So I appreciate everybody that called. I'm telling them to let me go and that you're violating my rights, and those are all so thankful. Just try not to put my name into it. It doesn't, it's helpful, but it's not helpful. So, but other than that, I'm gonna let you be the judge, jury, and executioner. Links are in the description. Not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying some people, they just, they need to honor their oath. You honor your oath and things would have went a lot smoother. If you would have came out to me in an approachable manner, it would have gone a lot smoother. But no, you didn't know the law. None of you even cared about my rights. That's all you wanted to do was throw me in the back of a car and say, all right, let's take him to jail. That was it. So, other than that, that's all I got to say. I love every one of you. Thank you for all my new subscribers. This channel is just growing out of control right now. Make sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Check the links below and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna get out of here. Soliaker, deuce.